Hello and welcome to my Tarot Corner. So, a lot of new information is coming out about the coronation, and the latest is that Catherine might ditch the tiara and switch it to a flower crown to symbolize King Charles' likeness to nature and his love to gardening and to everything that is growing. So she will not wear a tiara but a flower crown. I mean, I have to say that this will be very disappointing to me if that happens. What else did I see in the news today? I saw that a friend is calling Meghan Markle to do the right thing regarding her father. So another way to pressure Meghan to meet her father. So let's see if that happens. And what else? So the coronation is on Saturday. Everyone is getting very excited. So I suppose that is why the fact that Meghan has filed a motion to dismiss her sister Samantha's amended complaint or amended lawsuit went under the radar, and many people didn't pay attention to it except avid gardener, who read between the lines and noticed that Christopher Bouzy is being thrown under the bus. And it seems that Meghan Markle is well, I don't know exactly how to say that in English, but we have this expression that we are saying that she is, completely brushing him or brushing herself from him. And she, first of all, she's claiming that she did not pay him, that she didn't know what he's going to say, that if he's lying, then it's his lies, and that she's not responsible for anything that he's saying, that she had no idea, that she is not responsible. I mean, if you're doing a docuseries, a documentary, it's your responsibility to check everything that people that you are putting on that documentary, that what they say is true. So if a person is being on that documentary, paid or not paid, saying something that is untrue, it's your responsibility to make sure that that is not being broadcasted. But no, she's claiming that she had no idea whether he said truthful things or maybe lied. So she's actually calling him a liar. She's throwing him under the bus. So I thought, okay, so let's go Gypsy on Christopher Bouzy and Meghan Markle's relationship and do a reading looking at their relationship from beginning till today. So I'm using the African American Tarot, and this is the bigger version, not the mini version that I showed you the last time I used this deck. So this is the bigger version of this deck. And the reason that I'm using this one, because I have the leaflet here, and if I'm getting a major arcana, then I want to look at their explanation for the major arcana, because it has roots in the African American how do you say that, legacy or culture. Okay, so before I start, please take a few moments to read my full disclaimer in the description box. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such, may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourselves. Okay, so let's clear the deck. And as always with Gypsy readings, I'm asking the universe to align the cards in the right way to show me Christopher Bouzy and Meghan Markle's relationship. So please align the cards in the right way to show me Christopher Bouzy and Meghan Markle's relationship. Please align the cards in the right way to show me Christopher Bouzy and Meghan Markle's relationship from beginning today till today. Please align the cards in the right way to show me Christopher Bouzy and Meghan Markle's relationship since it started until today. Please align the cards in the right way to show me Meghan Markle and Christopher Bouzy's relationship since it began until today. So in Gypsy readings, I'm cutting the deck only once and putting the cards on top, and I'm taking 7 cards. And it's like a story, so the last card will be the card of today or present time, or if not the last, because it's like 3 cards for past, and these 2 cards are kind of the present, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 cards that show us the near future. Okay, so let's start with the past. So in the past, we get the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles, that is the king that controls the material world. And this is who Christopher Bouzy, first of all, that is how he presented himself to Meghan Markle. He presented himself as this very successful businessman, someone who knows how to deal with business, someone who has this amazing startup that can control everything in social media, that he can control the narrative, that he can find out whoever the people that are spreading hate in social media. So this is how he presented himself to Meghan. So he's someone that is independent, someone who has, that is how he presented himself. It doesn't mean that this is who he is, but he showed himself to Meghan as someone who is rich, someone who has millions of dollars worth of companies, that he's living in luxury, that he has this amazing, successful companies, that he is a very good businessman, that he is great. So this is how he presented himself to Meghan Markle, and this is how they started their relationship in the beginning. Okay, so now the next card is the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles, that is a card of destruction and failure, and it's destruction and failure that is known in advance. Now, this is a very interesting card. Just look at this card. If you remember, I always tell you that the Five of Pentacles comes after the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is a card of someone who conducts himself out of feeling threatened, and it is a false threat because he stands on 2 pentacles and he has a solid basis. Here we see the result of acting this way. And you can see that after he stood on these two pentacles, he has these eyes on his feet. So here we see a man that, after conducting himself wrongly because of false threats, he ended up in destruction and failure. Now, what are the false threats? All of those false Twitter accounts that he presented as the accounts that are creating hatred and created vitriol, that Twitter themselves showed that they are not hate accounts. This is acting out of false threat, and this is what he caused his clients to do. Amber Heard, for example, she ended up in destruction and failure because she listened to Christopher Bouzy, and she acted out of listening to his advice. And if we're looking up here, we see, and I just have to look at the explanation of this card. So just let me just for a moment see how the book explained this card, because as you know, this is interesting, just to see their explanation. So wait just one moment. Okay, so they are just calling him the demon man-eater of the desert. But what we can see here, up here, is a man that is in desolation, and this woman is trying to help him, and he is in a very bad state. Now, this is actually the stage where people started getting the results of counting on Christopher Bouzy. Now, this is not only Amber Heard, but this is also Meghan herself that is starting to realize that counting on Christopher Bouzy is going to lead her to destruction and failure. So this is her realization that this relationship is not very healthy for her. So this card is very interesting because it comes out very close to the beginning of their relationship. So it's interesting to see what happened next, because it is seen like that very quite in the beginning of the relationship, Meghan realized that it's not a good relationship for her. So what happened next? And next we're seeing the card of the Lovers. So it seems like Meghan was trying to cut him out. The Lovers card is a card of being total. Now, being total is not about love. It's not about a connection. It's about looking at your life's pathway and deciding what is redundant. It's about being total and looking at what is redundant from your life's pathway, what is not helping you moving forward, and deciding what is staying and what is not. So it seems like after realizing, and it's a major arcana, so it's very spiritual. So it seems like after realizing, and probably it's after Amber Heard lost her trial, Meghan was trying to cut ties with Christopher Bouzy. She was trying to distance herself from Christopher Bouzy. She wasn't satisfied from that connection. She was trying to distance herself. So despite everything that Christopher Bouzy was doing on Twitter and was rallying with the Sussex squad and was supporting Meghan all the time, Meghan herself wasn't very she didn't like being connected to Christopher Bouzy, and she tried to cut him out. Whether she succeeded or not, we'll see in the next card. So the next card is, wow. So we're getting the, this is interesting because this card, according to the number, is supposed to be the Hanged Man. And it's called in this deck the Observer, and it's about initiation and ritual. It's another major arcana, so we see quite a lot of major arcanas here. Now just see what kind of card it is. It's a man is sitting here quite alone, desolation. His eyes are tied, but there are eyes scattered all around here. Now what they're saying here is that it is about self-sacrifice, it's about inner depth, it's about a lack of sense or isolation, stagnant situation, frustration. So it seems like Meghan wasn't able to, so it's very much like the Hanged Man in the Rider-Waite. So the Hanged Man is a card of someone who is unable to move forward. So here it seems like she was unable to see reality. She was blind to how toxic Christopher Bouzy was. And maybe she didn't want to see, maybe she was able to see, but she didn't want to see how toxic the Sussex squad were and how toxic Christopher Bouzy was getting, because he was getting more and more toxic. And she couldn't distance herself from him. It was in a stagnant situation, although she was trying in the Lover's card, but she couldn't do that. And she, in a way, she felt like it was this sacrifice that she's sacrificing, and she felt like, okay, so this is and now we're getting very close to the present time. So she feels like it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I am here this is something that is happened to me. This is not my fault. I am sacrificing here. I am it's something that just happened to me. Someone left me here. I'm all alone. I am just I'm stagnant. I couldn't brush him away. I tried to brush him away, but I couldn't brush him away. This is not my fault. They stuck on me. They all of them, the Sussex squad, the Bouzy, all of them, they just parasites. They're stuck on me, and I just cannot brush them away. But I'm not to blame. I'm not to blame, because this is something that happened to me. I did not create that. This is how she feels, and she really believes that. So she forgets that from the beginning, she signed a contract with him, because this is a man that came to her. This is a clear sign that they signed the contract, that there was a monetary contract here. And when the Five of Pentacles come here, it is a sign that there was monetary agreement, and it is around money. So when we're getting these major arcanas, it is because she is trying to convince herself, and it is in the more in the spiritual plane, and not so much in the physical plane. So she's convincing herself that she tried to brush him away, but she did not do actually enough to cut him out. So when it stays in the spiritual plane and it's not actually coming down to the ground, it's not being done. So you can think about cutting someone out, you can plan cutting someone out, you can want to cut someone out, but if you're not actually cutting someone out, and if there is no actual action, if there is no action, and there is no action in these cards, it's all spiritual, then you haven't done anything, you just thought about it. So she is feeling like a sacrifice, but she actually did not do anything to cut him out. Okay, next, and we are now in present time, and we are another major arcana, and this is the Fool. So the Fool card, this is another card that she's trying to justify to herself why it's not her fault. The Fool card is about freedom. It's about a freedom that makes reality. It's about I was reckless, I was hasty, I didn't know what I was doing. This is someone who sometimes makes mistakes because he was too hasty. I didn't know where I was going. I couldn't see, I wasn't looking, I didn't know exactly what he was doing, he deceived me, I didn't know. This is all the excuses that she uses, it's all excuses. So I went on this very dangerous plane, with a dangerous route, without seeing where I was going, because I wasn't able to see that there is a ravine here, that there is a very dangerous ravine here that I could fall and crash. I didn't know that. I didn't see that. I couldn't see that. I couldn't turn my head and look forward and see where I was going. This is something that I just couldn't do. I was doing things without seeing. I made a mistake. I was ignoring reality. I ignored obstacles, but it's not my fault. And this is a card of a person who burns bridges behind him, a person that does things because he's agitated, a person that is frustrated. And she is, right now, she is frustrated. She is agitated, in relation to this, to Christopher Bouzy, and in relation to this court case. She's agitated, she is frustrated, she is angry at herself because she knows that she made mistakes, and she is trying to find excuses for herself, and she's trying to console herself with these excuses, but she knows that these excuses won't hold, but she's trying to console herself. But she is frustrated, she is agitated, she is angry, she knows that she's about to fall and crash. She knows that this is going to happen. So this is what she feels right now, and these two cards are, she feels that she is not to blame, that she is she's self-sacrificing herself, and that she is and she's frustrated, she's agitated, and she's afraid. This combination of these two cards is fear from the unknown, the things that both of these men cannot see what is coming, what is in the future, and she's afraid of the future. She's afraid of the unknown. So let's see what the near future is going to show us. And we are getting here the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is... wait a minute, let me just make sure it's the Knight. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is the fantasizer. And it's a person that misses opportunities because he is living in this fantasy world. A person with severe mental health problems, a person that is living in this dream world, and she is living in this fantasy. She is creating this fantasy that she will be able to well convince the judge, or convince the world that she is correct, that she is that she really is not to blame, that she did not pay Christopher Bouzy, that she didn't know, that she isn't to blame, that Christopher Bouzy did things on his own. So this is what the Knight of Cups is talking about, and because this is a fantasy. This is and knights are people that have tendency to miss opportunities. So this card shows that she will probably not be able to convince the judge with that. Although in this special deck, this is a person that knows how to speak. So maybe in this specific card, she will try to use her ability to speak and to ability to convince. I don't know, but I understand, for example, from Avid Gardner, from Fiona, that the way that they wrote the motion to dismiss is very demeaning. So I don't know if the judge will accept that motion, because it's not respectful. Okay, the next card is the Four of Swords. Okay, so the Four of Swords is deciding not to decide. The Four of Swords, usually it's a person that is lying in church and is unable to make a decision, unable to get up. And it seems like in this, and here we see two images, and we see the image of the chief that is carrying the swords, and he has this tail of the tiger, and he's climbing the stairs that we don't know where the stairs are going, but it seems like they're going straight to heaven. And we have here two people. It's a white a person that is writing, and this black person that is trying to convince him. So it seems like this is an end of the chief. He's going to heaven, probably. And it seems like an attempt to convince a judge or convince someone with power. So two things that I can take from this card. First of all, she will be in this position where she will have to make a decision, but she will try to stall, as she tried to stall most of the time with this court case, and she will stall and stall and stall, well, as much as it takes, as much as she can, all the time that it takes for this chief to climb up those stairs. And then she will try to convince the judge. So both of these things. So he will go up, 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 up until he gets up, and then he will try, and then the convincing will try. So these are the two things that I can see going in the future. So I expect a long wait for this trial to begin, and I hope it will begin. I hope that she will not be able to convince the judge that she's right, because she paid Christopher Bouzy. She paid Christopher Bouzy, and when she saw that Amber Heard lost the trial, and that he's not someone that she can count on, she tried to cut him out. And when she couldn't, She's now trying to build a narrative that she's the victim, as always, and that she just didn't know. And she lives in this fantasy world that she will be able to prevail, as always. Okay, so that's the tarot. Let's see what the oracle says, and this time I'm going back to the dark mirror, because there is no good side to this reading. Okay, so Meghan Markle and Christopher Bouzy's relationship. Meghan Markle and Christopher Bouzy's relationship. The card that I'm getting is the child I was meant to be. Let me find the message. Okay, so the meaning of this card, and this card actually doesn't have a lot of darkness about it. It's a card of acceptance, and it says to go forward is to go backwards, as hope heals the wounds of the past. So maybe it means that Meghan needs to realize, first of all, we know that she's going backwards. She won't admit that, but she is going backwards, because she's now going backwards to to her past career, to her career as in the entertainment business. She is going to reopen the TIG, so she's going backwards, and she's going to end her career as a humanitarian. She's going to start afresh as an entertainer. So she's going backwards. She is. So this is her way forward, and probably she realized that this is her only way forward, and she's accepting that. And in her relationship with Christopher Bouzy, she will have to go backwards in order to go forward, which means that she will have to admit to the world that she had a relationship with him, what kind of relationship with him. She will have to admit to the world exactly what it was in order to heal and in order to go forward. She won't be able to go forward if she doesn't go backwards. So this is what this card means. Okay, so this is it for this reading, and I hope you liked it. And if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.